Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Aero North's Back to Basics. Today we're going to be talking about how to rig up a tip up for ice fishing. And if you want to learn about the way that I rig these up for fishing pike and walleye, then stay tuned. Alright, so you decided that you want to get into ice fishing and you want to learn how to set tip ups up for chasing down those northern pike, or maybe you want to go after some walleyes. Well, today I'm going to talk about the steps I take to get these tip ups ready for the ice. So first, I'm just going to go over the basic equipment you're going to need to get started. Of course, you're going to need a tip up, and they come in all different shapes, sizes. You got the round Frabils, you got the long Frabils, you got the wood Beaver dams. If you're just starting out getting into fishing, it doesn't really matter what type of tip up you get. Buy what you can afford, the best one you can afford, and go out there and learn how to use it. You're also going to need some line. I like to get a little bit thicker line. You can go to any of your fishing shops, tackle stores, go online, and you can buy it. This is a Beaver dam fishing line. I like it to be a little thicker. That way when you're hand lining these fish in and the fish decides to run, it's not going to cut into your fingers like a thinner line would. So make sure you get a good line. If you're going after northerns, you're going to want to get a steel leader. See if that can focus. Attach this on the other line. I'll show you how to go about that. That way northern with their teeth, they don't break your line off. Hooks. I go with the number 2 or 3/0 hook. Eagle claw. Put on there whatever you want. I go with the size 2 or 3. Then for weights, I use the size 3 Eagle claw split shots. You can buy some bullet weights that you can attach on there, whatever your preference. I think the split shots are my favorite to use because you can adjust them. If you want your minnow to kind of stay down towards the bottom, put your split shot on a little lower. If you want your minnow to be able to swim around, have free range, you can move your split shot up a little bit and allow that minnow to kind of move around. And if you're going to be targeting walleyes, you're going to want some fluorocarbon. You can use 8-pound fluoro, 12-pound fluoro. If there's a lot of pike or muskies in your water, you might want to bump it up to 20-pound fluoro. But you'd use the fluoro instead of the steel leader. So let's talk about the first steps taken to rigging your tip ups. I'm going to go with this pink Frabil here. So they'll probably come in the box, put together like this. Pull the flag out. They got a little wing nut on the side. Pretty easy. Loosen that up. Get your spool to come down. First thing I'm going to do is take my tip up line. I'm going to attach it to the spool. You're going to want to go through this little ring here. So your little line keeper. So you can see that. You thread it through the loop. And then I just tie a basic knot on there to get it attached. You want to get your line attached to the spool. I tie just a basic overhand knot. And I double them up. I'll tie that on there quick. I know it's probably hard to see with the camera angle. Alright. As you can see, we got the line going through the line keeper, and it's just tied around the spool. I like to trim off the tag end of that line. Alright, so now you're just going to wind the line up on the spool. Put a little tension on there so it gets tightly wrapped around. That's basically all you're doing is winding this line up. Alright, now that you got your line put on your spool, next step you're going to want to do is attach your steel leader, or at this point, if you're going to be fishing for walleyes, you're going to want to attach your fluorocarbon leader. So for the steel leader, you can see the leader I have, it already has a swivel attached on the leader. So I'm just going to tie my line onto that swivel. And I just use improved clinch knot. Some people I think call it the fisherman's knot. So do is put it through the swivel, go around the line. I do 5 or 6 wraps around. 2, 3. Alright. Then you come, I don't know how well it's going to pick it up, you come back through the original loop you made. If I can get it there. And then you come through that new loop that was made, and you just cinch it down. And you can trim off that tag end if you want. I'm just going to leave it. And now we got to add your weights. I use the split shots and I'll show you why. A couple of split shots out here. Pliers. So if you're fishing earlier in the year, fish are a little more active, you can put the split shot farther up the line. A couple foot or 2 up, 1.5 foot, and that's going to allow your minnow to have all this slack in the line. You can bounce, swim around, attract more fish. Later in the year, when the fish aren't as active, water's colder, you really don't want your minnow bouncing around. You can slide the split shot down on your leader closer to your hook, and that's going to pin your minnow in that spot. He's not going to be able to bounce around as much. So that's why I like using the split shots over the bullet weights. Put that on there, pinch it tight. That's up to you how many split shots you want to put on. I put on 2. I find that works good for medium or small sucker minnows, walleye, shiners. Just throw another one on there. Alright. Now with the leader, see if you can pick that up. This is where you put your hook around has a snap on the bottom. Makes it really easy. Take your 2-aught hook, snap it in, secure the snap. And now, there you go, you got your tip up set up for northern pike. Like I said, the only difference would be if you're going after walleyes. Instead of putting the steel leader on, get the swivel. You can buy these swivels without the leader and tie your fluorocarbon onto the other end. Depends on how clear the lake is that you're fishing. You want to do a 2-foot leader, 3-foot leader, up to 6-foot leader. The clearer the water, the longer the leader you're going to want. Another tip I'd give you is tie a button in your line. So when you set your depth out on the lake, you slide that button up to the bottom of your spool here. So if you get a fish, it starts taking line, you go to reset your tip up, just reel in that line until that button comes right up to the bottom of your spool, and you know you're at the right depth where you're at before. Doesn't matter what type of tip up, these round tip ups gonna have the same concept. Come apart, spool comes out, same deal. If you're gonna go, if your main fish you're after, if you're targeting walleyes, I'd probably upgrade by a beaver dam. Main reason for beaver dams, they're known for their spools being extremely smooth. That's important when you're walleye fishing. The line doesn't get hung up on the spool when the fish grabs it. Some of these cheaper tip-ups, they will work if that's all you can afford to get. By all means, go fish with them. But beaver dam, if you can upgrade to them, and there's other companies too, I'm sure. We're not sponsored by any of these. But the beaver dam is why I like, 'cause it has a really smooth spool, so walleye picks up your bait, it's going to slowly let the line off the spool. It's not going to hang up and get caught up coming off. Alright, so this was our quick back to basics on how to set up a tip up for pike or walleye fishing. If you like these videos and you want to learn more about different topics, just let us know. And remember to hit that subscribe button and join our channel. We're just getting started out. We plan on doing a lot of outdoor content and look forward to seeing you some more. Thank you.